everybody. Welcome to Mary Elizabeth Jones's Friday Hour.
Pipe down over there.
Yeah, he don't mean anything. So.
What did you say? I didn't hear what you said. I was yelling.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome to Mary Elizabeth Jones's Friday Hour.
Hi, I'm Kaye Lazar, and it is it's more the twilight hour right now. We're almost. The sun is going down. We're going to try to do the show as long as possible.
Yes.
Until the sun goes down.
Yeah.
We're filming it with natural light, sort of like Barry Lyndon.
Right.
Yeah. And that noise that it wasn't someone with an upset stomach or something. It's a goose.
Yeah.
It's a gaggle of geese.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a bunch of them over here. So.
Yeah, you can't really avoid it there. And so, how was your week?
It's been really good. Yeah.
My week has been going well. I signed a new lease.
Oh, okay.
And
good for you.
And I had to run and run. You know that you could sign leases now online now.
Oh, okay.
So I did that, and and there's we're filming this the last day of the month and the last day of my lease, so I had to scramble and type it and everything. So and you could sign it, but I didn't read it. But all leases say the same thing, really.
Oh, yeah.
No. What do they say? No loud parties.
Yeah.
The old joke. My landlord said, I see you're a single man. I don't like loud parties. And I said, I won't invite you to any. What else? I was thinking that, when you move into a new place, a new house,
right,
a new apartment, it's, okay, you go into a hotel room, for example, and what happens is when you go into a hotel room, you say, oh man, this is a terrible place, or the noise, the loud, the dripping faucet, all that stuff.
Right.
I'm glad, I want a new hotel room tomorrow. Now, you can't do that with an apartment. You can't do that with a house. You're kind of stuck.
Yeah, I know.
You better learn to like it, whatever goes on. And,
exactly.
The expectations of things you think are going to be good don't usually turn out so good sometimes.
Right.
Now, did you ever have high expectations and things just didn't work out for you there?
Yeah, somewhat. When I was in school, I felt I would feel paranoid.
Yeah.
Because every time we would get report cards, or there's this other kind of report cards called an interim.
Oh yeah.
And you had to pass around the teachers for them to like sign it and all that.
Yes.
And I felt nervous about that.
Yeah.
Even though I got through it, I got through all the way to school.
Yeah.
But when I was in middle school, I felt a little nervous because I thought I was going to fail all my classes.
Yeah. School is probably the most. I always had low expectations at school. I remember going to my first orientation in middle school.
Oh yeah.
And I was there, and they said, and we will not permit any horseplay. We will not permit any not doing your homework. We'll not, and you better, and if the teacher says to do something, you do it, And I just, oh man. And how old are you in middle school? You're 12, 13 years old?
I was actually 11.
Okay. Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah, I know.
But when I was 13 years old, I was pretty much an 8-year-old.
Right.
and I just looked at the people there, and I looked at the teachers I was going to have. This is the orientation. My mother drove me there, and I said, I'm going to hate my time here. And I did. For some reason, I was right. It was just this Lord of the Flies place with where you had to wear a gym uniform and take a shower.
Oh yeah.
You had to.
I had all that stuff too.
Teachers were mean, and the only time they weren't mean is when the kids were bullying you, and then they took it easy on you.
Yeah.
And then they took it easy on them, and they were sort of like negotiating with terrorists. they treated like terrorists as if they were regular people. I said, no, these are people. They are, in a way, they are terrorists. They were causing terror.
Yeah.
There's a really good scene in that movie, Stand By Me,
Yeah.
with Morgan Freeman
Oh,
as
The
Joe
principal.
Clark as a principal.
Principal, yeah.
Where and it's actually did happen, where he lined up the 5 or 10 most incorrigible kids at the assembly and told them to sing the school song, and they were just goofing around. They didn't even know the song and everything. And then he said, I want all you kids to take a good look at these other kids, because you're never gonna see them again. Get the hell out of my school. And they said, what? And they thought, to them, school was just this playground
Right.
that they could just
Right.
cause trouble and deal drugs and
Right.
everything.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't that.
Because there was this one scene that was in that movie. Morgan Freeman would walk into the bathroom.
Yes,
And all these kids were smoking or whatever they did.
smoking. Yeah,
Yeah. So I haven't seen that movie in a while, but it's a good movie.
the movie is good. The guy himself was quite charismatic, but it was during the first Bush being president, and he was the darling of Fox News and stuff. But I mean, he was a good guy. He was a tough guy.
Yeah.
And he was in New Jersey. He took this school system, and according to the movie, he just changed everything around. In real life, he didn't change anything. The people were still incorrigible and everything. But what was wild about that was that the movie is good though, and I remember they have a flashback early on in the film where Joe Clark is played by and they make him try to look young by putting him in dreadlocks and a African dashiki, and he gets fired for trying to be a good guy,
Yeah.
a nice peaceful thing.
Yeah.
But he was still, I think, trying to kick some kid out, and then the guy says, we want you out of the school, or we want to discipline you or something. And he says, and he just quits right there, and he goes, and he says something I've never forgotten. He said, "You people deserve what you get," and that's to me. I've actually quit jobs saying that.
Yeah.
You people deserve what you get.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then of course they show then they showed 10 years later he's a crew cut and a suit and tie and everything, and he would yell at the kids, and he would say he would tell the kid, they go, "Why'd you lose some weight and wear a tie?" Because don't you have any pride in your appearance? And what's weird is that movie came out the same year. Shut up! This is our critic right here.
It's our background singer. Our background
Well, anyway,
voice.
You made me lose my train of thought. Anyway, Morgan made that film the same year. He came out the same year as Driving Miss Daisy and Glory.
Oh yeah.
And Glory was a great film.
Oh, yeah.
Glory, probably of the three, was the best film that Morgan made that year. And you would never know the same actor was playing all three parts. I mean, he looked the same, but I mean the talent the man has.
Yeah, he was
in
great.
playing three different parts. Because
Yeah.
now he tends to play the same part a lot.
Yeah.
But in those days he played different types. And Joe Clark was so good. And as Joe Clark. And then I remember, by the way, if you hear this racket going on, it's crickets.
Yeah, it's crickets.
I usually, when I tell jokes, I hear a lot of crickets.
Yeah.
But now I'm really hearing crickets, yeah.
Right.
So I'll try to be serious. But anyway, yeah, so the expectations of the school, man. And then the school bus. I hated going on the school bus.
Lord.
They wouldn't let me sit. I had to sit in the
hated
aisle.
that school bus.
And the school bus was so bad. A few days, if I woke up early enough, I walked to school, which was almost 3 miles away, because I did not want to. Going home was all right because I would get on the bus, but they wouldn't even let me sit on the bus. There's all these empty seats. I mean, not empty seats, but seats next to people.
Right.
So no, we all need a seat to ourselves. Gosh, these are days. it's times like this, looking back on it, I'm glad I'm a grown up. I've had a wonderful adult life. I've got
Me
the.
too.
My nephew once said, "What's it like being a grown up?" You know, and I said, "I'll tell you what it's like. I get to eat candy all day long. I get to watch cartoons all night long,
Right.
and nobody's there to tell me to stop."
And nobody bothers you either.
Yes.
So.
And so, it was my nephew. He said, "I wish I could do that." And then his sister said, "Well, if you play your cards right and live like your Uncle Kevin and never get married, you can live like that, eat candy all day and watch cartoons all night." And do these wonderful shows with Mary and everything. So anyway, and sometimes you get a job, and I had a job once, and I had one job, and I knew going into it was a terrible job, and I actually did work at it for one night. It was where I was selling stuff door to door, and they made an appointment, and me and this other guy would have this little thing, and we had like a few days orientation of it. And these people were real sleazy.
Oh, Lord.
Oh man, let me tell you, the people who ran it, and we were going to a military base, which Army people are not. I mean, you don't want to take advantage of Army, but these people didn't care. You know, they just saw them as rubes, as what do you call it, easy marks and stuff.
Yeah.
And you should have seen these guys had in the parking lot. They had Firebirds, Trans Ams. They look like a douchebag car lot. And then I had a job where this is really wild. I had a job selling Discover credit cards.
Yeah.
And this was the weird part about it, was I applied to get a job. I like maybe a few months earlier, I actually applied for a Discover credit card, and they turned me down.
Oh, wow.
But they didn't turn me down to sell them on the phone and door to door. In other words, I was good enough to sell them, but I wasn't good enough to own one. So yeah. So what else? But then I've had jobs that were so good. I had a job as a photographer once where I took pictures at an amusement park, and I wasn't sure about this job.
Yeah.
I had to wear a uniform and everything and a little name tag and stuff. And I was already kind of old for it. I told everyone I was much younger, but I was almost, I was like 28 years old, which most people I was working with were like 16.
Right.
And I did great at this job. The first day I had this job, I went home and told my parents, "You don't have to worry about a thing. I love this job. I'm going to have it as long as I can." It's probably still the best job I ever had as far as making money goes, because I made a commission, and the more pictures I took, the more money I made.
Right, exactly.
And in fact, I made so much money at this job that they had to change the rules, because I actually like broke the system or something, or I cracked the code how to make money at this job.
Right.
Now, any other like low expectations of places you got?
Yes. I forgot about the places, but I did make a mistake when I was in my 20s.
Yeah, what'd you do?
I applied for a few of credit cards, like Chase and Capital One and all that.
Yeah.
And I would actually run them up.
Oh.
And
you didn't know you had to pay for them?
Well, I was in my 20s. I was young, so,
Yeah.
But,
well, I know people like that in their 20s and sometimes even in their 30s. They get a credit card in the mail, and they think, "Oh, free money," and it's not free money.
Yeah. Right. I mean, we all make mistakes, so.
Yeah, but then you have to pay for those.
Yeah. Yeah, but I've got them all paid off now, so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I let me tell you, I also had a job where what else? Oh, when I was a kid, whenever we used to see my mom and dad write checks.
Uh-huh.
They didn't have like real money when they wrote it, and so whenever they said, "We don't have the money to buy this, game, this toy for you," and my sister and I said, "You can write them a check. You can write them a check." We thought the check was what adults did.
Yeah.
to not to kind of go right through that. What else? I've so and that this job I had where I had to sell stuff door to door. With this other guy wouldn't stop smoking, and he got to get the sale. If we made the sale, we didn't make the sale. The next day I didn't even show up for work. It's the only time I didn't show up for work ever. And I said, I can't do this job. He goes, do it. I found out that there was people who drove the Firebirds and the Trans Ams. They were basically the workers there because they trained everyone to work for them, but they wound up usually doing it because so many people quit that job.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, speaking of the door-to-door job thing, and have you heard of this company called Vector?
Vector?
Yeah, and they
No.
sell Cutco knives.
Oh yeah.
And I was going to get a job over there because at first I thought it was a real job.
Yeah.
And I got this letter saying I had to pay some kind of security deposit or some sort.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom and my grandfather were kind of disappointed in that because they really wanted me to have a job.
Yeah.
So, because I was growing up and all that stuff. And my mom would ask, there's some stuff I really wanted at the mall.
Yeah.
So, my mom calls up to me and she's like, Mary, would you rather spend money on something at the mall you want? Or do you want to just throw your money away, to do the security deposit thing?
Yeah.
I'm like, I thought about it. I was about to pay the security deposit, but I changed my mind because my mom got me all excited about saying, would you rather spend money at a bookstore or at a mall or something? But I did that instead of paying the security deposit.
Yeah.
And I never worked there. So
Yeah.
I never started my job there. So
Why do you have to pay a security deposit to work?
I guess probably because you get the tools, the tools.
Oh, the whole thing was a scam just to sell you tools.
It was a scam, yeah.
Yeah,
I found out that it was.
Yeah, so you were better off without it. Let me
Yeah.
tell you, I had a job. Actually, it was the Discover credit card job. They eventually left town and didn't pay me the last $150 they owed me.
Oh wow.
So while I thought of myself as a scam, I couldn't sleep at night it turned out I was scammed the worst than anyone else that this company was scamming because they just left town without paying.
Wow.
Yeah.
But at first I was all excited about the job because, it was it felt like an office environment.
Yeah.
I wanted to, sell knives and everything. Those
Yeah.
were really awesome. I had the really good knives too. And
The
then,
Ginsu knife.
yeah, and I found out that they were a scam, so
Yeah.
yeah.
I was watching the show where someone was selling what was it? It was some sort of like Avon or something.
Yeah.
And they were trying to fool people that they invited them to a party and it turned out to be an Avon party.
Well,
A Tupperware party.
Yeah.
And then none of the women there bought anything. He goes, "Hey, we all sell Tupperware, and we're all in for it."
What?
In fact, I remember going to Tupperware parties you used to have.
Yeah. I still have them every now and then,
And what else? I've been. What else? And then I've had expectations of sometimes you have a blind date and you're walking up the stairs. I heard this story, and you knock on the door, and that's as good as the date's going to get. Then they open the door and it's all over.
Right. Yeah.
And then what else? I've heard Also, I've never been disappointed with any travels I've been on.
Me neither.
I always found
Me neither.
something good in everywhere I've been.
Yeah.
I've never really hated any place.
Yeah.
People tell me they hate certain places.
I want to
but-
travel some more too.
Yeah,
so.
you can't travel enough here.
Yeah, I know.
And well, I think the sun gone down really fast.
Yeah.
So we'll just talk a little bit more for a few more minutes. Now, I understand you were watching something with Elizabeth Ashley in it.
Yes.
Tell me about Elizabeth Ashley.
When I first discovered her,
Yeah.
she used to be on the Slim Fast commercials.
Yes.
I was 13.
She's not big.
at the time.
She's not a big woman.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was saying. But she had a picture of her when she used to be fat. a little
Yeah.
bit, so
Yeah.
yeah.
So what do you know about Elizabeth Ashley?
Well, she's played on like movies, and she was kind of popular back in the 50s and 60s.
She was actually she was popular in the '60s, and she was I think she's in the original Barefoot in the Park
Yeah.
on Broadway. Jane Fonda played the part in the movie, and then I remember Elizabeth Ashley once hosted Saturday Night Live. She wrote a book, a memoir, and she was talking about she'd been married a few times, and she was talking about all the men she slept with. and including I think Albert Finney, I think was one of them.
Right.
And then what happened was, who was in a play with her, and I remember they had an actress playing Shelley Winters and an actress playing Britt Eklund, and they were on a panel, and they were just trying to top each other,
okay.
what celebrities they've
Yeah.
slept with.
Yeah, I never really actually heard Elizabeth Ashley till the Slim Fast commercials.
Elizabeth Ashley
So-
used to play Burt Reynolds' first wife.
Yeah.
I think Mary Lou Henner played the second wife on Evening Shade.
Oh,
That's probably where
yeah.
you've probably seen her in recent years.
Yeah.
She's a very good actress.
Yeah.
I remember seeing the first movie I ever saw her in. I think it's her debut. She played the wife of George Segal, which is his first
okay,
movie called Ship of Fools.
Oh, okay.
And it's also famous for being Vivian Lee's last film.
Oh.
And it's a very good
okay.
film by Stanley Kramer, based on the book by Catherine Ann Porter. Very good performance by Michael Dunn from the Wild Wild West.
Right.
And Lee Marvin is in it. He's very good in that. But to me, the best performance in Ship of Fools is Jose Ferrer playing a Nazi before there were Nazis. It takes place before the Nazi era, like in 930 or something. And but Elizabeth Ashley, that's her first movie, Ship of Fools, and Stanley Kramer, who made It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, and Guess Who's
Yeah.
Coming to Dinner. But
Okay.
there's nothing like those movies.
Yeah, I actually have a record soundtrack from that movie.
Yes,
It's
Ship
a
of
Mad
Fools.
Ma-
It's a Mad, Mad World. Yeah. Oh, we've talked about that. I could talk about that all day. Now, what was I going to say about Elizabeth? Elizabeth Ashley, I do remember she was always on talk shows and
Yeah.
Johnny Carson
Oh,
and stuff.
yeah.
And she was talking about how she was the first one in her neighborhood to have cable television.
Oh, wow.
This is back, I think, in the 80s. She was talking about this. I mean, it was a fresh idea then. And she had this... she had cable TV, and she thought her kids would watch better shows and more educational shows and and she said all they do is change the channels and watch the commercials. And that's true.
Oh yeah.
I see people with cable, all they're
Right.
doing is watching commercials.
Yeah. Speaking of cable,
Yeah.
I remember back when I was a kid. My grandfather had like a box that you
Yeah.
would like change channels.
Yes.
I thought it was the most coolest thing I've ever seen.
Yes. I remember when we had cable like 20 years after everyone else had it. We had like a color TV 20 years after everyone.
Right.
My parents just waited for it to be streamlined and cheaper, and they were probably right.
Right.
Because the color TVs when I was a kid, if you change the channel, they sort of look like what our TV looks like now.
Yeah.
If you change the channel,
Yeah.
you had to adjust the color. If a new show came on, you had to adjust the color. You spent
Right.
all day pretty much adjusting the color.
Right.
And if they were, I don't know so much about black people, but with white people, you tried to get the the skin color kind of normal looking
Yeah.
and not pink or green
Yeah.
like a Martian or something.
Yeah,
And if you could get that, then probably everything else falls into place. But yeah, it was color TV was terrible. In fact, when I always joke when you watch antenna TV or something, they always said this is TV shows how they used to be. I said no. If you want to show Batman and that girl and shows like that from the 1960s, show it in the blurry colors. Because that's how we remember them.
Yeah.
Or on a black and white set.
Yeah.
Want to hear something really weird about black and white and color
What?
TV? If you have a black and white set and you hook up like a video a VCR to it and the antenna goes into it, you could actually, and record it on there. If you take that cassette tape out and put it in another one, it'll be in color.
Oh,
Because
okay.
the signal's in color, but the TV is in black and white.
Oh, okay.
But the signal that comes through to the machine, I thought that was wild.
Yeah.
Now everything's in color. Now everything's
Yeah.
kind of black right now.
Right.
I guess we're kind of finished.
Yeah.
We're like Wrigley Field here. Once the
Yeah.
sun goes down, we're finished.
Right. Yeah.
But thanks for having me here.
Absolutely, and thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you to all my fans. Thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate that. All the, the good comments and all that good stuff. So,
I want to thank my fan club too.
okay.
Both of you. I'm talking to both of you.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes, y'all. You guys. Everybody. Okay.
My fan club meets at a picnic table every
All right. Amen.
every week.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you all so much again, and may God bless you. You take care.